Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. My name is Catherine Luber, and I'm one of the Client Success Specialists with the PeopleFax support team. I joined PeopleFax 3 years ago on our verifications team, and I moved over to the Client Success team last year. So I'll be a familiar face for some of you, and I'm here to introduce you to the upgraded system that we'll be using moving forward. You may have seen our recent announcement that PeopleFax has acquired Track One, a fellow leader in the background screening industry. Bringing Track One on board not only gives us a lot of knowledgeable and dedicated folks, but it also gives us access to the excellent new Track One system, which you'll be able to use immediately after our training today. Our upgraded platform has a user-friendly interface, it has some exciting new functionalities, and it also has a simpler look and feel, and it's just one of many reasons that we're excited to say that we're now PeopleFax powered by Track One. With me today as well is Kimberly Pruitt, now with PeopleFax, who brings with her extensive experience with the Track One system. In her 5 years with the company, she's worked in verifications, she's worked in customer support and sales, and she's currently one of our client engagement managers. So she really knows the system inside and out, and she'll be leading us through our training today. You'll also hear me pop in time to time just to highlight some items for you as well. Today's training is going to focus on 3 essential areas of the upgraded PeopleFax powered by Track One system. So we'll take a look at how to place an order, we'll show you how to check your order status, and then we'll also show you how to review your reports. So we really want you to walk away today confident in how to use these 3 main features of the site. In addition, we'll be checking out your billing and invoicing area. We'll show you some new user and account management tools that will be available to you, and we'll also explore where you can find answers to all of your questions in our help section. Our upgraded system has a lot of awesome features that we've had many requests for over the years, and Kimberly is going to give you the inside scoop on how to get the most out of these. Since this is a new process, we know that you may have questions about the site or about your service, and Kimberly and I are really committed to making this a seamless transition for you. So we have about 45 minutes scheduled for our training today. We'll present the new system to you, and then afterwards we'll address a few commonly asked questions that we've received over the course of conducting these trainings. So stick around for that information, and if anything that you want to know has not been addressed at the end, please feel free to contact us as well, and we'll review a few easy ways to get a hold of us too. Without further ado, I'm going to pass the floor over to Kimberly, and she will show you our upgraded platform.
Thank you so much for that introduction, Catherine. Hello, everyone. I am really excited to show you the many benefits and features of our new system. As Catherine stated, we are here to help make this upgrade to the new system as seamless as possible. So as we move through this training session, please be aware of any questions or comments or concerns that you may have. And just as she stated, we are going to address some frequently asked questions at the end, as well as some housekeeping items. But if we do not address any of your questions, and as we know, as you start to get into the system, you may come up with more questions or comments, please reach out to our team so that we can walk through that process with you and get you the answers you need. This is a really exciting time here at PeopleFax, and we know you're going to love the new system. So let's go ahead and get started. Now, prior to this webinar, you should have received a couple of emails, one containing the URL for your login page, new account number, login credentials, and some training videos, and a secondary email with your temporary password. If you don't see those emails in your inbox, please check your junk or spam folder. If you did not receive those, go ahead and contact our Client Success team so we can get those sent out to you as quickly as possible. The URL provided can be bookmarked or saved for easy access. Now, previously your login page included a 3-step process. With the upgrade system, you're simply asked for your username and your password. Upon logging into the system for the very first time, you're going to be taken to the user certification page. And this page is brought up when you first log in and then again every 6 months. And it just goes over an overview of the obligations of end users under the FCRA. So we've got the permissible purpose, making sure that you understand you have to have a permissible purpose to run background requests, which for yours would be employment. There are a couple of fields for you to enter your name into. It also covers adverse action procedures, making sure that you understand your obligations in regards to these items. Now, once you have entered your name, you simply hit submit, and it's going to take you into our system. As you can see, we have all of the available sections listed for you at the top of your screen. This makes it really easy to find what you're looking for without really having to dig. So I'm going to give you a quick overview of those items, and then we'll begin a more in-depth system. So the first item is our dashboard, and this provides client notices and user preferences. Admin is a section only available to administrative users and has user management features as well as some other admin tools. Applications is your one-page ordering process. Reports is where you can review those reports requested. Your Bill gives access to your monthly statements. Smart Track is an available people management feature, and it requires some additional setup. If this is something you may be interested in, go ahead and contact our team after today's session so we can walk you through that. We also offer a help page full of amazing resources for all of our users, and a Contact Us, which is a simple way for you to reach out to our team without ever having to leave the system. I want to start today's session off with our help page because of all the amazing features it has for you as a user of the system. And it's going to start with our welcome page. And this just has some basic information, phone number for our client success team, as well as hours of operation. We also have some quick links if your applicant is requesting a copy of their report directly from us, or if they would like to dispute some information contained on their report. Under the Help navigation, you'll see we also have company info, and this is going to have your operations headquarter information listed. And we offer a library of quick reference guides, and these are available in a wide array of topics, everything from how to enter your applications to how to access those adverse action letters. So lots of different guides available to you. You simply select which one you would like to review, and it's going to open a PDF that's going to walk you through that. Next, we have our forms and documents, and these vary from everything from authorization disclosure forms to a copy of the Summary of Rights in both English and in Spanish. And this is also where you can gain access to some third-party access fee tables. So if you are currently running motor vehicle reports, statewide criminal searches, or county criminal searches, you can come in here and review what those fees are ahead of time. And this is just one more way we're being as transparent as possible when it comes to the total cost of your packages and services. So those are available to you. If any of the information contained on those tables do update, we'll share with you a client advisory notice, and I'll show you where those are a little bit later in the training session. The next option on the Help navigation is Compliance Resources, and these are just some useful articles from the FTC that we make available to you. And lastly, we have our video library. Now this is going to mirror a lot of the same information that's available on the quick reference guides, but rather than opening up a document for you to review and go through, we're going to walk you through step-by-step, easy to follow video. So lots and lots of amazing resources for all of our new users, especially as you're getting into the system and getting accustomed to it. Now let's take a look at that Contact Us page. And as I stated, this is just an easy way for you to reach out to our team without ever having to leave the system. So you don't have to pick up the phone or open your email. You can just hit the Contact Us. It's going to take you into this page. Your user information is going to pre-populate so we know who is making the request, but you can go in and update that if you need to. And then we've got our comments field, which is where you can enter any of those questions, comments, or concerns that you have. Once you've submitted that, it's going to go directly to our client success team, who are then going to review it and get back with you as quickly as possible with your answer. Now let's go over to our application process, and Catherine is going to give you a quick overview of what this process entails.
Thanks, Kimberly. So as you can see off the bat, your ordering page has been streamlined and simplified into a one-page ordering process. And you'll begin by choosing which package you'd like to run from the Available Packages area in the upper left-hand corner of your screen. So once you log in, you'll see that all of your packages have been mapped over from the old system, so you'll still be able to run your familiar products and services, but some of them may have slightly different names. So for example, you can see here in our demo package, we have a product called Broad Screen Verify. Broad Screen Verify is comparable to the National Criminal Database product that a lot of you currently run, but it does have the added benefit of more complete and verified data. So we're really excited to be rolling that out to you as well. If you come across any products that do have a slightly different name and you just want to clarify what they are, or if you don't see something that should be there, please use the Contact Us tab to get a hold of us. We're happy to review that with you and make sure that you have all the information that you need.
Yes, so just as Catherine stated, this is your one-page ordering process. So let's walk through that process together. Now it starts with choosing which one of your available packages you would like to run. And if you're wanting to do a la carte options, there would be an a la carte option for you here, and then you would be able to add in those services below. So today we're going to go ahead and run one of our demo packages. And as you can see, once I've selected that, the box below that lists out the services that are included in that package. This is especially useful if, for instance, you have multiple services contained within one package all bundled together, and you want to review and make sure you're selecting the correct package. It's going to list out everything that's included so you know if you need to add in any of your additional services. So you will have the option of adding in additional services into your request at the time of your application. And you'll also be able to add them in after the request has been submitted, and I'll cover that in just a little bit. So once you've selected all of your packages and services, then you begin to enter your applicant's information. Required fields are marked with an asterisk, and one of those fields that I want to point out is the middle name field. So the middle name field is always marked as required. We do provide a checkbox for you in those instances where your applicant does not have a middle name, but we really advise you only select that box when your applicant legally does not have a middle name. By selecting that box simply because one was not provided or entering incorrect information into the middle name field can cause inaccurate results, and no one wants that. So please utilize that appropriately. So we're going to move on to our date of birth, which is our next required field, and we just follow that formatting. And now I want to point out the business code field. So this is your billing identifier. So this is where you can associate this report with a specific department or division, or if you would like your statement sorted by a certain code. This is a free form field, so you can enter numbers or words however you need to do so. So for instance, we'll say that this person is going to be an intern. And if you need to enter an additional code, you simply enter a semicolon after the first one and continue to type. Now we move on to the applicant's address, and you'll notice that only two fields are marked as required, and that is the street address and the zip code. And that is because once you have entered that zip code, you're going to select the Click to Populate City State. Our system is going to grab that zip code, run it against United States Postal Office information, and populate the city and state. Once you have completed entering all of the required information for your packages or services, which may be marked differently since this is just a demo package, depending upon the services that you're running, there may be additional fields for you to complete. But once you've entered all of that required information, there are going to be a couple of options for you at the bottom of your screen. One of them is always going to appear, and that is to schedule this applicant for rescreening. So if your company has a rescreening policy, for example, all of your employees have to have their background checks run every year, you can schedule a notification with us within our system notifying you that that employee is coming up on their time. So if you want to utilize that, you simply select this, and later on in the process, there's going to be a form for you to set those parameters. I do want to reiterate this is a notification process. We do not automatically rerun background checks, and that's because we want to give you the opportunity to review that and make sure your employee is still with your company or that the correct services are being run. We don't want you to incur any additional costs that are unwarranted. The next checkbox is going to appear if your company or applicant is in California, Minnesota, or Oklahoma, and that is due to some state regulations that require that option on the authorization form completed by the applicant. If the applicant selects that box on their authorization form, please make sure to select the checkbox on the application page so that we can get that sent out to them. The last portion of the application page is just a brief overview of those obligations of end users under the FCRA. There are no additional fields for you to complete. By simply submitting a request, each user is acknowledging that they understand. So once you hit the next button, you see that we are not done. We have added this extra benefit to our users because so many records are dependent upon name and date of birth information being provided correctly. We want to give you the option of taking a moment and reviewing all the information that has been presented. Something as simple as a misspelled name or transposed numbers can cause inaccurate results. So please take a moment, review everything that has been entered, and if you do see that you either entered something incorrectly or missed some information, or perhaps didn't add in those additional services you wanted to, you can simply hit the back button. Everything is still going to be there that you previously entered, and all of the services that you had already added in will be there for you. So you simply update the information that you need to do and go down to the bottom and hit Next. If you verify and everything looks correct, you will go ahead and hit Submit in the bottom right-hand corner, and it's going to take you to a confirmation page just letting you know that your package has been submitted and that we're working on it. It's also going to list out all of the services that were included in that report. Then you get a couple of shortcut buttons back to the application page or into Getting Reports. If you have selected for your application to have a rescreening notification, this is where you can schedule that information. So you can set those parameters by days, weeks, months, years. You can also choose a specific date. You can choose to end it after so many occurrences or leave that open-ended. Simply set your options and hit Schedule, and it's going to take you back to the Applications page. So now we're going to review our reports page, and Catherine has some great features that she's going to point out to you.
Yeah, so as Kimberly mentioned, your reports page does have a lot of great features, and you have a very robust suite of report management tools that will be available to you. I think you'll find these quite useful, so just to highlight a few, we now have auto-archiving. You can also very easily change a business code or billing identifier on your previously submitted orders, and you can batch print.
Thank you, Catherine. Now let's take a look at those features and tools that are available to you in more depth. So the first part is going to be your reports toolbox, and this is where you can search for a specific report by name, social, or app number. You can also choose to show reports within a certain time range, and I don't want anybody to panic when they see that it only goes up to 90 days because we do auto-archive and those are available to you, and I'll show you that in just a moment. You can also search by specific status. You can choose to show only new reports, which are those reports that have been completed but no one within your account has opened and reviewed them. You can also select only to show reports that have not been printed. Once you've set those parameters, simply hit Refresh List and your reports page is going to update with everything that falls within the options. The next part is our legend, and this goes over two very important columns on your reports page. The first one being the results column at the far right-hand corner. So the green check mark means that this came back with no records and that it is clear. We obviously still advise that all of our clients open every report returned so that they can review all the information contained within. The red flag means that it is not clear, and that means that a record did return. That could be anything from a criminal record to a motor vehicle record, depending upon the services requested. So it's just giving you a quick view into what's going to be on your report. The next part of the legend is our status column at the far left-hand side, and this is giving you the update on the status of your report itself. So we have new, which means it's complete, but no one has opened it. Then we have pending, lots of different statuses, but a really important one that I want to point out is our needs attention. So when we need additional information from you in order to fulfill a request, we will move that report to needs attention. You will receive an email notification letting you know what additional information we need and for which applicant. But if you happen to already be within the system and see that icon, you can simply click on the name of the applicant, and it's going to open this dialog box where you can come over to the note field, and it's going to let you know. For instance, this one needs a signed authorization, and it tells you where to provide that information to. If, for instance, you had provided us a middle initial throughout the application process and we had lots of possible records matches, so we would like a full middle name, we may ask you for that. In those instances, rather than having to give us a call or shoot us an email, you can simply click on the needs attention. You can see as you hover over it, it even says click here to resolve this issue. And it's going to open up a simple application page. So if that was additional information we needed, you could simply click in here and update that information and hit Save. It would update our team instantly and let them know that they had that the requested information was there. Next, we have our reports navigation, and this is just going to take you into a lot of those cool features and tools that are available. So you'll see we're currently on the recent reports, but this is where you're going to access those archived reports. So all of those reports that are older than 90 days are available to you here. We've provided a simplified toolbox. You can still search by name, social, or app number, or you can search by a date range. Under Reports Navigation, we also have Combine Applicants, and this is in reference to tenant screening, so we're going to go ahead and move on to Company Code Entry. Now this is where you can come in and add a missing or modify an existing billing code identifier. So we've given you a checkbox or a toolbox that defaults to show requests within the past 7 days and to show only reports without a company code. By simply deselecting that box, it's going to auto-refresh, but you can still set your own parameters here. So you can search by name, social, or app. You can change the date range. You can also search by a specific status, or you can search our report archives, so those reports older than 90 days. Once you've done so, you can simply come in here and update that information. As you update it, it's going to change it to bright, bold red letters so you know what information is being updated. And if you want to update more than one at a time, you're more than happy to do so. You can simply come in and do that. It's going to let you know which ones have been updated, and you simply need to hit Save. It's going to update it in our system and on your statement. The last tool available to you is our batch print tool. So for those instances where you need to access or save or print multiple reports at one time, rather than having to go in and individually open up each report, you can come into our batch print tool. And this is going to give you a toolbox where you can search by date range. You can also choose to show reports that have not been batch printed, or you can search by a specific package. Then you would set your parameters and select up to 50 reports at one time, hit Print Report, and it's going to generate a PDF with all of those reports listed for you. So great tool when you need to access all of them at once. For instance, if you happen to be going through an audit or some form of regulation where you need to provide all those background checks, it's a great tool for you to have. Let's move back to our recent reports and take a look at the report itself, because there are some tools available to you on the report that I want to show you before we begin digging into that information. To open the report, you simply click on the applicant's name, and it's going to open up for you. In the upper left-hand corner, we have provided you a Save Print button, and we recommend that you utilize this feature rather than printing off of the Internet browser. If you do print off the Internet browser, it could cut off information or mess with the formatting, so it may not be clear and easy to read. So utilize that feature. It's going to populate a PDF for your use. Also have that Combine Applicants for tenant screeners. And we have our add services. So this is where you can go in and add those additional services after the request has been submitted. So if you happen to have a tiered ordering process where perhaps you order your criminal components first, and then once those come back clear, then you would go in and add those verifications. This is where you can do so. You simply hit the Add Service button. It's going to open up an application page. Every piece of information that you've already provided us is going to be there. All of your available services will be listed. You simply select which one of those services you'd like to add and hit Add. Dialog box is going to verify that you want to add that service, and then depending upon the service added, either additional fields will be marked as required or additional fields will appear on the application page. So for instance, for this package, the Social Security number has been marked as required. Hit the Submit button in the bottom right-hand corner, and you're going to get a confirmation page letting you know that it's been added and what those services were. So you can add in multiple services all at once. You don't need to go back and forth to do so. Just simply add them all at that time, and it gives you a shortcut back to your reports. Very easy to navigate back and forth through the system. And now you'll see that this one not only is no longer marked as new because we've opened and reviewed the report, but it also has that little green plus sign. What that plus sign means is that additional services have been added to that report. And if you simply hover over that icon, it's going to let you know what that service was and when it was added. So let's reopen our report. And you can see that that's now listed under our report summary. In the upper right-hand corner, we've provided a couple of drop-down menus. One of those is our adverse action letters. So this is where you're going to gain access to those. Simply select which one you would like, hit Generate, and it's going to populate a PDF with your company and your applicant's information there for you to use. We've also given a decision dropdown. So if after reviewing the report you would like to mark your report with a decision, this is where you could do so. So for example, we'll say that this one came back with no criminal results, so we will say conditionally accept. Simply hit save. Depending on your browser, you may need to refresh the page. And now it's going to appear on your report. You can update that at any time. So let's take a look at the report itself. The first part is our report summary, and this is the who, what, when. So who requested the report, what was requested, when was it requested. We've got a requested timestamp, a completion timestamp. We also have the subject of the report, so that's the applicant's information that was provided to us. If you provide a social, you'll see that only the last 4 digits appear, and that's for security and privacy purposes. In the upper right-hand corner, we have this number. This is your application ID, and it is unique to this report. So in those instances where you're looking for a specific report or you have a question or comment about a report and want to contact our team, although we can search by other parameters, if you have the application ID, it makes it very fast for us to locate the report in question. Then we have a breakdown of the services that requested and a timestamp of those being completed. To review those more in depth, you simply scroll down and you'll see we have them broken out by component. So no records did return on our broad screen, and then on our SSN track we had our address and alias history return. So very, very easy to read, clean format. As you can see, accessing and reviewing your reports is very simple within the upgraded system, just as simple as it is to access your bill, which we're going to cover next.
So with an upgraded system, your billing and invoicing area has a whole new look and feel, and I think that you will really like this. It's personally one of my favorite upgrades. So in addition to having dedicated areas of the system for your applications, reports, etc., you do have one for your billing. And you can very easily select which statement you'd like to view by using the Select a Statement drop-down in the center of your screen. And then your invoice itself is going to be displayed in a new format that condenses your billing for each order into a simple and readable document.
Yes, so before we begin taking a look at what that statement looks like, I really want to go over one of my favorite features of the upgraded system, and that is the fact that we have different security level accesses. So one of those, and this is my favorite example and one of the most utilized examples, is the Your Bill Only access. So if you have a member of your team or your accounting team that is responsible for the billing and you want to give them access to those historical documents, but you don't necessarily want them to have access to viewing reports or entering applications, we can set them up with Your Bill Only access. We have several different other access levels. There is a quick reference guide available to you under the Help page that covers this, but if you'd like a little more information, go ahead and contact our Client Success team so we can walk through that with you. Now let's take a look at the bill. So you simply come to the Your Bill tab and select which month you would like to review under the drop-down. It's going to open up in the Quick View window below, and as you can see, it's a very clean and easy to read format. On the right-hand side, we have your summary. So it's going to have your total amount due, what the billing period was, previous balance, current activity. On the left-hand side, we have our billing contact information, and this is the person on your account that is responsible for the billing. And if you scroll down, that's where it's going to get into the itemized portion. So this is where it's going to list out all of those applicants. They will be sorted by those billing codes that were entered. They're also going to have the created date, which is the date that that report was requested. And then it's going to have the services, and that's where it's going to get broken out into those itemized prices. So you'll see we have our package on this one, and we'll have the package price, but then they had some additional services. It lets you know that those were added in, what those services were, and what the additional cost was. On the far right-hand side, we have the total cost. So great way for you to be able to look at the statement and understand the total cost for each applicant and where that cost came from. If you need to save or print this, we've provided a Save Print button. This will generate a PDF for you to use.
So next, let's go ahead and review your dashboard area. So this is another new feature of the upgraded system. So As we also reviewed previously, you have applications reports in your bill, and your dashboard is specifically dedicated to managing your user preferences and also to reviewing your client advisories. And Kimberly is going to go in a bit more detail with you about what is actually in a client advisory.
Yes, so our client advisory notices, whenever we deem information is important for our clients, whether that be a court closure due to a holiday being observed or a jurisdictional delay due to weather occurrences, we will share a client advisory notice, and it will appear as a dialog box upon logging into the system. And it will have all of that information listed out for you. But once you've exited out of that, you still have access to it by coming to the dashboard, to the messages, and then you can simply come in and click whichever one of those you'd like to review. And all of the notices for the history of your account on the upgraded platform will be there for you. So you simply click on which notice you would like to review. It's going to let you know when that was shared. And this one, for instance, is just letting all of our clients know that as of May 1st, Alabama was changing their access fee for motor vehicle searches. And then it gives you what the former price was and the new price. So just one more way that we're being as transparent as possible with as much information as possible. Next, we have our user preferences under the dashboard navigation, and this is a fantastic feature for all of our users. Now, as I've stated several times throughout the process, you will receive notifications in regards to your reports. But as a user, you have the option of coming in and setting your preferences for those. Now, by default, everyone is set up to receive a notification every time a whole report is completed, but you can come in and change that to every time a status update occurs, every time a component is completed, leave it as is, or select never. Now, no matter which one of these options you select, you will still receive those needs attention emails. Those emails letting you know that we need something from you to complete the report, and that is because we don't want to delay that process at all. The field below that is going to be the email address that's associated with those notifications. You can update that information, or if you'd like to add additional emails, you simply enter a semicolon and put in the next one. Once you've set your preferences, hit Save Email Configuration, and it's going to update within the system instantly. Below that, we have our Change Password field. Now, because of the information that we work with and that you provide to us and that we provide to you on your applicants, we ask that all of our users update their password every 90 days. And when it comes up on that time, you're going to get a notification upon logging into the system, and then you'll be directed to a page to update it. But if for any reason outside of that time you would like to update your password, this is where you can do so. You would simply enter your old password, create a new password using the security requirements listed below, confirm, and hit save. Then upon your next login, you'd be able to begin using that new password. The last section we're going to cover today is our admin page, and this is available to all of those administrative users. And it's going to start off with our user management. This is going to have all of the users currently on your account. It's going to list who they are, what their username is, what that security access clearance is, and whether they are currently able to log into the system. So that's the active column. If you'd like to add in a new user, you simply hit the Add New User button. It's going to take you to a simple form for you to fill out. You can also select that clearance. And I really want to reiterate that we do have a quick reference guide that covers these different levels. But if you have questions, go ahead and contact our team so we can help you with that. If for any reason you need to update a user or say, for instance, turn on or off their access, you would be able to come in and do so. So we'll say, for instance, that Jane has been out on medical leave, so we turned off her access. You simply hit Edit. In the bottom left-hand corner, we have the Active User box. Simply select that, hit Save. It's going to let you know that it was saved successfully, and we can go back to our users. Now we'll see that she can now log into the system. The next tool is our management reports, and this is where you have the ability to come in and pull a custom report of background requests. If you want a little more information on that feature, go ahead and contact our client success team so we can walk through that with you. We also have our scheduled application. So this is where you can come in and add a new scheduled application notification or modify an existing. So if you went through that process and did not schedule that notification, you can simply hit this button. It's going to give you a drop-down with a list of all of the individuals that you have run reports on. Set those parameters and hit Save. Now we'll go back in and we'll see that they have been added in. But say, for instance, that Mr. Presley has left the building and you don't want to get those notifications anymore. Simply hit Edit next to his name and you can come down and delete. You can also update your billing information, so your address or phone number associated with your billing contact, or you can update your billing contact. If you do update your contact, they are going to receive a confirmation email, and that's just verifying that we have the correct person. If your account is set up on autopay with a credit card, you would also have access to update that information. And last, we provide a secondary link to those compliance resources, so those useful articles from the FTC. Now, that is going to conclude today's training session on your new upgrade to the PeopleFax powered by TrackOne system. I want to thank everyone for attending and remind you that you should have received a couple of emails prior, one with the URL to your login page, your new account number, login credentials, and some training videos. A secondary email would have been sent with your temporary password. Please check your junk or spam folder if you do not see those in your inbox. If you did not receive them, please contact our client success team so we can get those set out. Now, Catherine is going to go over a couple of housekeeping items, and then we're going to cover some frequently asked questions. We really want to extend our appreciation again for you attending. We know you're going to love this new system just as much as we do.
And thanks again, Kimberly, for showing us the upgraded system. I think it's great, and I know that you're really going to love the simpler ordering process, your new account management tools, and just the general ease of use of the upgraded system. So as Kimberly mentioned, there are a few housekeeping items that I'd like to address with you before we address some other frequently asked questions. So first of all, just to let you know, you do still have access to the old system in order to view your previously run reports. Reports are not migrating over to the upgraded system, so again, if you ever need to review a report that you've run before, you can log into the old system to do so. We do ask that any new reports that you place or any new orders you place go through the upgraded system. I also want to let you know that you may receive 2 bills for the upcoming month. If you've placed any orders to date in the old system, you will receive an invoice through the old system at the first business day of the next month. And then if you place any orders in the upgraded system before the end of the month, you'll receive an invoice for those as well. So just keep an eye out for 2 invoices, and that will only be while we have overlap between the upgraded system and the previous system. So with that said, let's go ahead and jump into some of our frequently asked questions. The first one that we've come across is, do I still need to scan or fax in a copy of the applicant's signed release after I place the order?
Great question. So to simplify this process, we are no longer requiring that you upload or provide that authorization form with every request submitted. If it is required, our team is going to notify you. Now, there is an exception to that, and that is there are some criminal jurisdictions that require the signed release or other supporting documents for those searches, and you'll be asked to upload those during the application process. But in general, you will not be required to upload those with every request.
Wonderful. So our second question is, will we need to use a new authorization form moving forward?
As long as your authorization form is compliant and obtains all the information that you require to submit your requests, you can continue to use the existing. If you choose to use or modify the sample authorization form provided on the help page or to modify your existing form, we do recommend that you have your legal counsel review the new or updated form just to make sure that it's compliant.
The next question that we've come across, what should I do if the candidate does not provide me with a middle name?
Excellent question. So if your applicant did not provide a middle name or you do not have any supporting documentation such as a copy of their social security number, photo ID, government issued ID that would have that information listed on it, you can utilize the applicant does not have a middle name checkbox. But depending upon the record searches that we do, we may still reach out to you using the needs attention, stating that we do require their middle name.
Wonderful. So our next question is, can I have more than one administrator on the account?
Yes, you can have as many users as you would like on your account, and those users can be set to whatever security level that you would like. The caveat to having multiple users as administrators is that you cannot modify or add other administrators. So we have a wide array of levels to accommodate your needs. A quick reference guide is available on the help page that covers that information, or you can go ahead and contact our team so that we can review your process with you.
Great. And our next question, how do I request verification of employment or education? Is this the same process as ordering a broad screen verify search?
It is. The application process is the same no matter what services you're requesting. You'll still utilize that one-page ordering process under applications, and then depending upon those requested services, fields will either be marked as required or additional fields will appear on the application page.
Okay, wonderful. So those conclude the frequently asked questions that we've had. So again, if you have any other questions that we didn't address today, you can always review the documentation that we have in the help section. As Kimberly mentioned, we have some great videos and quick reference guides for you. Or you can also use the Contact Us tab. It's a great way to get in touch with us very quickly and easily. We really want to make sure that you have all the information that you need during this upgrade so that way it's a seamless transition for you.
Yes, thank you so much, Catherine. And I really want to reiterate that we here at PeopleFax are committed to making this an easy transition for you. So utilize that Contact Us, review the help page, give us a call, or send us an email at yourupgrade@peoplefax.com. Our team is here to help you throughout this process. And we both really want to thank you all for taking the time to attend this webinar.